Imagine finding an iPhone in Tutankhamun's tomb. Impossible, right? When the Antikythera mechanism was found, that is exactly how archaeologists felt. The year is 1900. A group of Greek sponge divers took refuge on the island of Antikythera to escape a violent storm. When the storm subsided, they said, "Since we are here, let's dive." The first diver surfaced in terror. He shouted, "There are piles of dead women and rotting horses down there." What he saw were not corpses, but statues scattered on the sea floor. This was the richest shipwreck of antiquity. Bronze statues, marble busts, jewelry. All were transported to the museum in Athens. Among the treasures was a rusted green lump of rock that no one cared about. It was forgotten in a corner of the museum storage for months. In 1902, an archaeologist noticed that the rock had cracked open on its own. When he looked inside, he couldn't believe his eyes. There was a precision-tooled bronze gear inside the stone. This was impossible. The shipwreck dated back to 60 BC, but such gear technology should have appeared 1,400 years later, with the invention of clocks in Europe. Many experts said, "This is a hoax. It must be a clock mechanism dropped from a modern ship onto the wreck." Years passed. In the 1950s, physicist Derek de Solla Price dedicated his life to decoding this object. "This," he said, "is an ancient Greek computer." When modern technology stepped in, secrets began to spill. X-rays revealed invisible layers beneath the petrified corrosion. There was no random arrangement inside. There were at least 30 bronze gears working in perfect harmony with each other. This was not a toy, it was a calculator. Even more surprising, a user manual, written in tiny letters, was found on the back cover of the device. Instructions written in ancient Greek. So what did this machine do? It didn't just tell time, it simulated the sky. It calculated the positions of the sun, moon, and planets years in advance. It could predict future lunar and solar eclipses to the exact day, even the hour. In the hands of priests or kings, this device meant godlike power. It even tracked social events. One dial showed the dates of the Olympic Games held every 4 years. It was both a scientific and cultural calendar. An ordinary blacksmith could not have made such a device. This must be the joint product of a mathematical genius and a master craftsman. So who was that genius? In a letter written in the 1st century BC, the Roman orator Cicero mentions a sphere made by Archimedes that imitates the movements of the sun and moon. Archimedes was killed in 212 BC, long before this ship sank. However, this device could have been made by a workshop based on his designs or by a student. The ship was likely traveling from Rhodes to Rome. Rhodes was the Silicon Valley of that era. The famous astronomer Hipparchus lived there. How did the device work? There was a crank on the side. When you turned this crank, time flowed forwards or backwards, just like a time machine. The front dial showed the position of the sun and moon in the zodiac belt. What day is it? What sign are you in? What does the sky look like? It was all there. One of the most elegant details. There was a small rotating ball painted half black and half white to show the phases of the moon. A feature hard to find even in today's wristwatches. However, the moon does not rotate at a constant speed in the sky. Sometimes it speeds up, sometimes it slows down. The Greeks knew this, but mechanically mimicking it was impossible. Or so we thought. Engineers found a genius pin-and-slot system inside the device. 2 gears were connected not at the center, but at a slightly offset point. This mechanism calculated the moon's variable speed perfectly, 1,700 years before Kepler discovered the laws of planetary motion. This meant rewriting history. Another shock. The differential gear system that allows cars to turn corners was thought to be invented in the 19th century. Antikythera had this too. This differential gear calculated the difference between the lunar calendar and the solar calendar. It synchronized two different time zones in a single machine. The dials on the back predicted not just the time of the eclipse, but its color and wind direction. This part was more for astrology and prophecy than science. There are missing parts on the front of the device. Scientists are certain there were other hands showing the movements of Mars, Venus, Jupiter, and Saturn. Why was this technological marvel on a ship? It was likely loot being taken to Rome for Julius Caesar's triumphal procession. But it never reached its destination. The scariest part of Antikythera is this. No similar device was made for exactly 1,000 years after this technology. Humanity completely forgot this knowledge. Why are there no other examples? Because bronze was valuable. As Rome collapsed, these wonderful machines were melted down and turned into swords, shields, and later, cannonballs. The only reason the Antikythera mechanism survived was that it sank to the bottom of the sea. No oxygen, no humans, no risk of being melted. The disaster was its salvation. The blueprints for this device were likely in the Library of Alexandria. When that library burned, the secret of this machine went up in smoke. While knowledge died in the West, it lived in the East. Islamic scholars and Byzantines kept simpler versions of this technology alive as astrolabes. But they weren't as complex as Antikythera. Michael Wright, curator of the Science Museum in London, built a replica with his own hands to understand the device. He didn't use modern tools. He worked the metal using only ancient Greek tools. When Wright's model was finished, a shocking truth emerged. This device was portable. It had a wooden box, cover, and user instructions on the sides. It was a tablet of the ancient world. This device was made not for scientific research, but to teach. A wealthy Roman or a philosopher used it to show students how the universe worked. The logic of the device was so universal that in 2010, an engineer built a working one-to-one replica of the Antikythera mechanism out of Lego parts, and it worked perfectly. Luxury watch brand Hublot fit this mechanism into a wristwatch. The engineering from 2,000 years ago rivaled the most expensive watches of today. The story isn't over. In 2017, archaeologists returned to the Antikythera wreck, this time with metal detectors and robots, and they found something new. They found a human skeleton, a young man lying there for 2,000 years. Researchers named him Pamphilos. Scientists are trying to extract DNA from these bones. Who was this man? A slave, a passenger, or the astronomer himself carrying the device? Experts believe the missing parts of the device are still under those sands. Perhaps that lost front panel showing the movement of the planets is just a few meters away. What if this technology hadn't been lost? The Industrial Revolution could have started in 200 AD, not the 1700s. Maybe we would have gone to the moon 500 years ago. We always think progress is a straight line, always forward, always better. Antikythera showed us this is a lie. Sometimes civilization stumbles and forgets everything it knows. We found only one of these devices. Perhaps thousands were produced, but all were melted down. History is not the story of winners, but of what remains. The latest phones we use today would turn to dust if left at the bottom of the ocean for 2,000 years. But bronze resisted. Ancient engineering beat modern plastic. What other impossible technologies do you think existed in ancient times that we don't know about? Steam engines, automata. Share your theories and thoughts in the comments. Perhaps the next big discovery will start with your imagination. We will continue to piece together lost history. Subscribe to the channel to complete this massive puzzle. Activate the notification bell just like those gears. Let every new video turn a new cog in your mind. The Antikythera mechanism may have stopped, but it keeps whispering to us. Look at the stars. The answers are there.